Everything you need to know about a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392. Is there any vehicle in the entire world more recognizable, more legendary, or more iconic than the Jeep Wrangler? The Jeep Wrangler is sold all over the world, and whether you first saw it in a movie with your favorite actor, the cool kid had it at school, there is literally no comparisons on the market. It's a vehicle you can take the doors off. It's a vehicle you can take the roof off, and for the last 40 some years, they just keep getting better and better and better. This is a JL Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392, which means not only is it the most capable Jeep that Jeep has ever made, but it's also the most powerful Jeep that Jeep has ever made. You see, there's been 4 famous generations of the Jeep Wrangler, each lasting for about 10 years. It all started with the YJ, a vehicle you saw all over the street with its big square headlights and enormous fender flares. From the mid-80s to the mid-90s, people didn't know what they were seeing on the road because it didn't look like any other vehicles. Then that was replaced with the YJ that went back to the round circular headlights. That went from the mid-90s to the mid-2000s. In the mid-2000s, the JK version of the Jeep Wrangler came out, and that version was so popular, it sold immensely, and it actually brought the Jeep vehicle to the forefront and to so many markets. Now the thing is that it got more popular before it ever got refined. The JK model that sold from 07 to 18 really was bare bones as far as creature comforts and luxury option. So finally, in 2018, the JL version came out, loaded with all the creature comforts, safety features that people have been asking about for years. In 2019, it was Motor Trend's SUV of the year, which means it beat out Ford Explorers, the Toyota 4Runners, Grand Cherokees, because finally you got all the off-road capability, the iconic look, and the creature comforts in one incredible package. This Rubicon variant in its 392 power plant has a V8 in it, and I can't wait to tell you all about it.
I'm Jeff Batchelor, and I love cars. I love the look, I love the design, and I love the emotion that you feel. I love the history, brand stories, marketing strategy, and automotive trends. I love engineering, types of propulsion, engine specs, drivetrain, and performance, and I love the interiors, layouts, smell, and the gizmos and gadgets and bells and whistles. But I don't only love cars, I also sell them. If you love this content and want to chat about a purchase, text me at 416-523-6585. Now back to the video.
All right, now since the JL was released in 2018, there is a lot of variants. So please bear with me as I go through all of them. There is the Jeep Sport, which comes in a 2-door and a 4-door version. It also comes in an automatic and a manual, and the Jeep Sport also comes in an S trim as well as a Willis trim as well. Above that, we have the Jeep Wrangler Sahara. This is the city Jeep. This is the one for daily drives, for highways, also available in a 2- and a 4-door version, automatic and manual, and an ultra luxe, ultra premium high altitude variant. And then we get up to the Rubicon. The Rubicon is the brawny, off-road capable, right out of the box, ready to do some crazy crawling in Moab, Utah. The Rubicon also comes 2-door, 4-door, automatic and manual, and also in a Rubicon X and a Rubicon 392 trim. So the other vehicles in the same class as the Jeep Wrangler are vehicles like a Toyota 4Runner or a Ford Bronco, but let's be honest, they don't even compare. You either can't get a V8 version or a version that has 35-inch tires, or a version that has a power soft top, or a version that has removable doors. So really, in its class, the Jeep Wrangler stands alone. Now, don't get me wrong, There are things that the 4Runner does better than a Jeep Wrangler, and there are things that the Bronco does better than a Jeep Wrangler, but none of them do them all in one amazing comprehensive package. The icon, the legend remains. There's nothing that compares to a Jeep. Now, what are the power plants available for the Jeep Wrangler? Well, in the automatic variants, you're likely going to see a 2-liter turbo. This is a 4-cylinder that's vastly used in the Stellantis product. If you're going with a manual, you will always see that mated with the 3.6-liter V6 Pentastar, an engine that is so famous, it's in every single Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chrysler product in their lineup. And at the very top of the line, we now have the 6.4-liter V8 Hemi SRT-derived motor put into a Rubicon. It's absolutely insane. This has 470 horsepower, capable of pushing this Jeep Wrangler 0 to 60 miles per hour in only 4.5 seconds. But wait, there's one last engine variant in your Jeep Wrangler. We make a 4xe, which is a plug-in hybrid Jeep Wrangler. This mates a battery electric motor with the 2.0-liter turbo engine, and what this allows is you to drive almost 40 kilometers on pure electric before switching back to the 600-kilometer fuel tank. You really get the best of the both worlds. All right, now let's talk exterior styling. Now, I may be biased because I own a Jeep Wrangler myself, but who doesn't love the dimensions and proportions of a Jeep Wrangler? With its exposed fender flares, bug headlights, in-your-face grille, and squared proportions, a Jeep Wrangler, although it's designed, has slightly been tweaked over the years, is still recognizable to anybody in any country. Now, at the front, we still have that iconic 7-slot grille. Revised are some ultra bright LED headlights with a halo LED daytime running light, which lets everybody know that a Jeep Wrangler is chasing them in the rearview mirror. This 392 variant needs a lot of air into that engine, so it has a unique hood scoop, which I'm going to talk about a little bit when I show you underneath the hood. On this Rubicon 392, we also have a modular 3-piece steel powder-coated bumper on the front and the back. The tips can be removed to give the wheels better access to off-road terrain. A winch has been installed in this version to get you out of sticky situations, and this bull bar on the bumper allows you to easily add off-road lights and other accessories onto your Jeep Wrangler. Now, if you are looking in the driver's compartment for a latch to release the hood, there aren't any. The Jeep Wrangler still stays true to 2 hood latches on the exterior of the Jeep to access the inside of this hood bay. Now, because this Jeep Wrangler has this massive hood vent with a 3-channel hydro glide system, the hood is very, very heavy. I warn you that right now. Now, you might be asking, what's hydroglide? Well, if you look, the air intake on the hood has 3 distinct pathways to make sure that all the air that comes into the hood is not full of water. It'll actually drain the water out one of these 3 channels before any of that air gets anywhere close to your intake, okay? And now under the hood, look at that beautiful engine, a 392 SRT-derived engine, a V8 in a Jeep Wrangler, things that most people have had to build on their own just to get this type of performance out of a Jeep. Now, this 392 has such big wheels and tires on it that the fenders are not only large, but they needed extenders just to make sure you aren't flipping up dirt, dust, and debris all over your beautiful Jeep Wrangler. The tires on this 392 are 35-inch BF Goodrich KO2s put on a 17-inch bronze beadlock capable Mopar rim. Along the sides aren't rock rails, they're actually rock sliders because you actually have a bit of a step, which is really nice accent. If you look at most of the Rubicons, there's no side step there. This combines a little bit of both. Around back, we have that same metal bumper. That's going to allow your Jeep to be protected no matter what type of terrain you are on. And the way you can tell this is a 392 more than any other Jeep product out there is the quad exhaust exhaust, and man, does this exhaust ever howl. This is the only Jeep product I've ever seen with an adjustable button to make the exhaust ultra quiet for creeping into your neighborhood at night, or extra loud to make sure that everybody knows you have a 392 in the parking lot. Now, as I mentioned before, Jeep Wranglers used to have no safety options, no creature comforts. And as you can see on this Jeep Wrangler, we've got LED taillights, blind spot monitors, parking sensors, backup camera, and so much more. The JL model, they lowered the rear tires so you get better visibility out the rear window. But man, this styling, this color, this trim, all the gold emblems, this is a Jeep that is bound to turn heads everywhere it goes. All right, now when you get inside this Jeep Wrangler, the first thing you see is these beautiful deep bucket leather power seats with incredible gold stitching and gold Rubicon 392 in the seat back. Now that might seem like something small, but Jeep Wranglers have never had power seats, and now you have that in this Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392. This is a beautiful steering wheel they've chose to put in the Jeep Wrangler. Great big thick grips, beautiful gold stitching, and even paddle shifters. So that means you can drop a gear and disappear. Also, easy to use controls, familiar in all Stellantis vehicles to control the driver cluster. And on the right hand side, we have your cruise control and adaptive cruise control, complementing all the safety options that are now standard and available in your Jeep Wrangler. Also, grab handles are back, things not found in previous models of the Jeep. The large 12-inch horizontal Uconnect 5 infotainment system is largely renowned in the automotive industry. Everybody loves the Uconnect systems because they're so easy to use, they're so responsive, and they're just nice to look at. On the left-hand side, you have all your different modes, from your media to your comfort to your navigation and your phone, with as well wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. Under the vehicle settings, you can adjust a plethora of options, including setting up different driver profiles, viewing the forward-facing camera, washing the forward-facing camera, as well as viewing the rear-facing camera as well. Down below, you will find your climate control buttons, making it very easy to crank up the heat or make it real cool in your Jeep Wrangler. Even if you're wearing big, thick mittens, you got heated steering wheel and heated seats, dual zone climate control, as well as a few safety features below. My favorite button, the active exhaust button, which allows that exhaust to roar loud enough to wake all your neighbors. Down below, we have a standard power outlet as well as plugins for your phone. And then below, you have Rubicon specific features like your front and rear locker, your sway bar disconnect, as well as your off-road plus mode. Now, this Wrangler also features a manual 4x4 selector. Yes, that's right. In 2024, we have a manual 4x4 selector. So if you wanted to put it in 4 low, 4 high, 4 auto, you still use a stick to manually articulate that. Now, in previous Jeep models, the back seat was really not a place you wanted to be in a Jeep Wrangler, but that has all been changed in the JL model. The rear seats now have a slope to them. They've got cup holders, they've got armrests, you've got increased headroom and legroom, so you've never been happier staying in the back seat of a Jeep. There's also power outlets for devices, as well as improved HVAC systems, which means getting hot air into the back seat in the winter or getting air conditioning back there in the summer is no problem whatsoever. Now, before I forget, let me talk again about the soundbar system that sits right over the top of the driver's head. When you have your doors off and your roof off on your Jeep Wrangler, the two most important and loudest speakers sit right behind your head. That allows you to hear your tunes at full volume, even with all the road noise around you. Now, this rear seat also folds down flat, revealing the cargo area in the back, which once you do that, you've got tons of space back here. Easily enough to camp or sleep in the back of your Jeep Wrangler. Now, getting into the back of your Jeep Wrangler is super easy. You have a large swing door that does have keyless access, and then you have a flip-up glass window. Look at the cargo space that you have back here. When you fold those back seats down, you have almost 6 feet of length, which means sleeping or camping in the back of your Jeep Wrangler will be no problem whatsoever. On the right-hand side, you can't miss this enormous Alpine subwoofer, which complements the all-weather sound system in this Jeep. Doesn't matter if it gets a little bit wet, the sound system will pump no matter what. And then underneath the load floor, most Jeep Wranglers have an empty compartment here with a drain plug. So if you wanted to bring beverages with you on the trail and fill it full of ice, draining it out at the end of a long day will be no problem whatsoever. So there are a lot of unique features about a Jeep that set it apart from every other vehicle on the market. I've already mentioned the removable roof, the removable doors, and a vehicle that combines performance, luxury, and off-road capability. But some things that I really love about this Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392 Final Edition are all the incredible gold accents on the vehicle. Gold around the Rubicon writing, gold on the 392, and check this, around back in the tailgate, there's a special 392 Final Edition gold plaque. That is really a beautiful accent on this vehicle. Another thing I love about this vehicle is it has a power retractable top. That's right, you don't need a friend to help lift your roof on or off anymore. It's never been easier to take your top off on a Jeep. Right up here, there's a button to open the power roof. It's just that easy to get a little bit of sunshine on your face when you want a little bit of fresh air in your Jeep Wrangler. As you can see, it opens up and it clears not only the front row, but even the back row so everybody can enjoy a little bit of sunlight. If you see some gray clouds in the sky or it's getting a little chilly, just one touch, one button, and your roof will close up and seal your Jeep Wrangler right back up. And as I mentioned, Jeep Wranglers are famous for removable doors, okay? With just a quick electrical disconnect and a few bolts with one tool supplied by Jeep, you can have these doors off in no time to enjoy a true open air experience. Jeep Wranglers have a very unique feature I've not seen in any other vehicles. Down here on the floor mats, there's actually a drain plug, which means if your Jeep got so muddy from having the doors and roof off that you needed to hose the Jeep down, don't be afraid. You can shoot a garden hose all throughout your Jeep Wrangler. It'll self-drain through these drain plugs. And if you needed the carpets to dry extra quick, they all snap in and out ultra easy. Jeep has really thought of everything, making sure it still has the off-road capability that Jeep has been famous for, while adding the creature comforts that the current market demands out of vehicles for sale. So if you are in the market for a high-performance vehicle, well, maybe consider a Jeep Wrangler, because in its V8 392 variant, it does 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. If you are considering an off-road vehicle, consider a Jeep Wrangler. They come out of the box with a built-in winch, 35-inch tires, giant fender flares, steel bumpers, and all the protection you would ever need to tackle any terrain. And if you are in the market for a beautiful, good-looking, sexy, smooth, luxurious SUV, well, hey, the Jeep Wrangler does a darn good job of that as well, with beautiful leather power seats, up-to-date infotainment systems, and all the creature comforts you could ever want. Put the Jeep Wrangler at the top of your wish list.